Hi guys, it's Portia with red nails. Whoa, really crazy. So, I wanted to talk about what it was like being able to wear colored contacts and how it has drastically affected my life. Now, most of you be like, what? That does not make any sense, but it does. And, first, the obsession I would say with it was I've always had a crush on guys with different features, I would say, with like brown hair and blue eyes, or like, a mixed person with blue eyes. So I was always like enamored by that, and I've always had a crush on that. I remembered how, like, emotionally I'd be like, oh my god, they're so hot. When, like, when it's just like, it was cooler than just seeing like a brown haired dude with brown hair eyes. But like, luckily I'm not affected by it anymore because I've been pulling off that bullshit for like years and for a year now. So it's like I'm not affected as much with the whole like different colored eye, different hair thing because I somewhat know the truth behind it. Well, I'm not affected by it because I am that now. And I would say the decision I've decided to start wearing colored contacts, like I've always been wearing like brown contacts, but I haven't worn like, or like grayish, but I haven't worn like blue or green. And what made me truly decide this was because, like, one day one of my friends was like talking about how beautiful this girl was because she had contrasting features. She had brown hair and blue eyes, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I've noticed the progression that girl has gotten in her career so quickly. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Not like that. I'm just saying that, like, maybe it was an attributing factor because she became an assistant producer so quick. So I was like, there must be something up. And I was like, maybe I can try to put on colored contacts and see what happens because I am a Asian person. I can get away with it. I'm white and Taiwanese. So I was like, you know what? I can always come up with that excuse if anyone asks me. And honestly, it worked. It still works to this day. And honestly, I like how it works for me and what it has done for me. So I honestly became a fan of it. I honestly liked it. So that happened. And, when I first wore, I remember this. It was exactly like a year ago, but I started like really wearing colored contacts when I went to school. And I've noticed like the big treatment, like difference in treatment I've gotten, like from the previous year. Again, though, I did add in Pilates, so I did work out more often. And I remember like it's just I've had more of a physique since my last year of school. So when I returned, I in a sense glowed up. I showed up with my Pilates body. I was snatched, but also my eyes were green or blue whenever I wanted them to be, but they were green a good majority of the time. So I remembered when I first wore my green eyes, I went to Pilates and this guy came up to me and he's like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to tell you how magical your eyes looked. And I was like, whoa. So, like, the treatment I've been getting was just completely different just because of the color of my eyes, which I was so shocked. I mean, yes, it's kind of mortifying to think that, like, it is true. People with different features get treated differently, and I've noticed that I've gotten better attention since I've been changing my eyes, and like people have been honestly believing that my eyes were a different color. So it was so I kind of just chose to sit with the lie. I know, right? That's kind of gross, but it's like I just didn't want to explain the whole process to them. Like, yes, they're contacts. Like, no, it takes out the magic. Yes, I even slept over at a guy's house, at a guy's place, and I told him my eyes were green, and I did not take out those contacts. I woke up in the contacts, and I was like, "Yeah, they're green." Big troll, big troll. Hopefully that does not like actually affect me later on. But I mean, like, if they can't love me with my brown eyes, then they're not worth it. So that was like the first time, but then it really started to drill in. I remembered I was at this frat party, and then this guy like decided to follow me out because I wanted to leave, and I was like, okay. So he followed me, and then like I was like, yeah, let's go to another frat party, which is like, of course, like if you're in a frat, you cannot run into another frat party. That's like nearly impossible. I was able to sneak him in with my beautiful green eyes. And then I sang the Austin and Ally theme song, and then we just ran in. That usually never happens, so I don't know how I pulled that off. So, like, and then I remembered when we showed up, one of the guys that had a girlfriend literally came up to us and he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, my name's Portia." And then he's like, "You have such beautiful eyes." And then I'm like, "Yeah." And then he like looks at the guy I'm with and he's like, "She's a keeper." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness. This is legit." So I remembered like how shocked he was, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy how people like act up if your eye color's different." And I kind of gaslighted people where when people found out, I literally said, "No, it doesn't make a difference. It does." I just didn't want people to copy me. I didn't want people to copy me because it's my thing. Which is like, I know. um and I don't know how I did it. And oftentimes like people would stop me on the street and tell me like how beautiful I am because of these eyes. I've never had like an experience where that you know what I mean, they compliment something else. They always go for the eyes. They're like, "Oh my gosh." So I would just often lie about it. And even like my close friends were in on it because like I just didn't want to explain to people. But also it made sense because like I'm half. I'm like half white, half Taiwanese, so it's fine. And even today, like an old guy literally went up and complimented me on my eyes today because they looked so unbelievable. And I really want to get into that. It's just like it's crazy how people decided to treat me better just because my eyes were a different color, which was shocking. Shocking. So that tells you though, people treat you differently based on your eyes, which is kind of like effed up, I would say. It kind of did traumatize me a bit where I'm like, oh my gosh, like who really likes me for me? And I remember like one of my friends was like, "I like you more with your brown eyes," but he was really just trying to get me. It was just like ew. But yeah, so I like if you ever have the chance, I guess you can try it for yourself if you have the guts to like put plastic into your eyes and say they're your eyes. Go ahead. I do that every day. I mean, I like using contacts instead of glasses. I feel like glasses personally give me headaches, and like contacts are easy. You just whip them on. I put them on since I would say seventh grade. Since seventh grade, I've been putting on contacts, and I've never gone back since. And I love the idea of shopping for new colors. I like customizing my eyes. I think of my eyes like hair, you know, or actually, but it's more customizable. I would say more like clothes. I think of my eyes like clothes. Like I have to use it to see things, to go out in public, but also I use it to alter my looks. And I actually have a lot of fun because I match my eyes based on like what I wear for the day. But also like it's funny like joking with people and saying they're real just to see their reactions, because I remembered when I was with my friend Nana and we were just trolling this guy, and she's like, "So, what's Portia's eye color?" And he's like, they're kind of blue today." He's like, "Yeah, it's really hard to describe your eyes. They're like out of this world." Which is just it's the funniest comments. I mean, like the first time you get compliments on like your eyes, you're kind of like, "Whoa," but then you get kind of used to it over time. Honestly, I love it. And I do think though it does go into attractiveness factor, and people are more attracted to, like, for example, people with blue or green eyes and brown eyes. It's just like an overall scientific study. But honestly, I enjoy it. You should try it out. But I guess some people can view this as traumatizing. I mean, yes, if you like sit and think about it, yes, it can be traumatizing. But if you view it in a positive way, like, oh, it's like clothes or like your hair, or like, it's like I dye my hair blonde tomorrow and like people treat me better than like when I went brunette, which is a very true fact. I feel like blonde people are treated better at my school than brown hair people. So we're gonna do an experiment. I'm so proud to say I have officially scheduled an appointment to wear the blonde. I know. Okay, you know why? This is crazy. So I was walking around with my contacts and I did my makeup. I did it like off of Jackie Wires and I did like a Barbie look. Somebody literally thought I was Margot Robbie off the street. And I was like, no, I'm not. But that's a big compliment. But if I dye my hair blonder, I might get there. I might get there. But yeah, so I just want you guys to think about it. I just felt like it's like a good topic to talk about because not a lot of people talk about the idea of like changing your eye color. So thank you for listening. All right, goodbye.